Good day, everyone. Welcome to G Class 101, still in collaboration with Miss Shy. So, today, everyone, another lesson for understanding the self. We're going to talk about the political self and being a Filipino. So, today, I am expecting that at the end of this lesson, you're gonna develop a Filipino identity. You are gonna identify different Filipino values and traits, and you reflect on your selfhood in relation to your national identity. So, what makes a Filipino a genuine Filipino? Do physical characteristics such as having a dark hair, flat nose, and dark complexion make one a Filipino? Or is it a person's language, birthplace, and ethnicity? If you were able to introduce yourself as a Filipino to a person, another nationality, and he or she asks, "Who are Filipinos?" What will you reply? The Philippines, as we know it today, has only emerged in the 1890s after over 3 centuries of colonization of the Spaniards. Meanwhile, liberation from the last colonizers, the Japanese, only occurred in 1946. Foreign culture, beliefs, language, and religion have made a huge dent on our own by setting a foundation to the contemporary Filipino identity. To date, colonial mentality remains an issue, right? Given the wide discrepancy between the liberation period and today's time, would it be safe to say that Filipinos have truly developed an identity of their own? Or are we still living in the shadow of our colonial friends? So, in this chapter, you will learn that an individual's race, ethnicity, and physical characteristics are not the only factors that make a person's national identity. Values and traits are also important indicators that set apart one nationality from the other. These values and traits may not always be a positive thing, but being able to identify oneself apart from other nationalities and point out weaknesses and mistakes, paired with unity and commitment, make progress a possibility. Though common goals, principles, and values of its people, a nation empowers itself. So, what is a Filipino? Or who is a Filipino? Filipinos are often referred to globally renowned personalities like Manny Pacquiao, Lea Salonga, and Michael Cinco, who have made Filipinos recognized around the world through their expertise. However, being a Filipino is far more than just being related to these notable figures. Independence Day and Buwan ng Wika celebrations prompt us to go back to our roots and reflect on the question, who is a Filipino? But technically, according to the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Filipino citizens are those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines, those born before January 17, 1973 of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority, and those who are naturalized in accordance with the law. Okay. However, citizenship is not the only marker of being a Filipino. Okay? Culture and history have greatly influenced the manner Filipinos learn, live, and behave to date. People who were born and grew up in the same culture develop and share common personality traits and values. Generations after generations, common traits and values have been passed on that the Filipinos of today still embody. So what are those Filipino values and traits that we have, Filipinos? The Philippines is a lush island paradise famous for its grandiose mountain views, pristine beaches, and rich and diverse culture changing from province to province. While the Philippines may be well known for its awe inspiring beauty, perhaps the Filipinos' unique traits, reputable values, and laudable talents make the country a place to be. So tourists who have visited Philippines can never forget the big and bright smiles that greeted them, the colorful and loud jeepneys, the common Filipino phrases such as mabuhay and salamat, and habits such as saying po and opo to the elders, leaving shoes or slippers at the front door before entering a house, and the importunate asking of kumain ka na ba, meaning have you eaten yet? Indeed, it is a marvel to experience these unique traits of the Filipinos firsthand. So, few of these traits are as follows. First, the Filipino hospitality. A Filipino trait that is known everywhere in the Filipinos brand of hospitality. Filipinos welcome their guests and tourists as if they are their own brothers and sisters. They always make their guests feel at home, offering them something to eat or even a place to stay. That they will bring out their best sets of plates and Chinaware for their honored guests and would even go as far as spending a lot of money and going into debt so they can satisfy them. In most local shops, Filipino salespersons will greet their customers with warm welcome and say thank you when they leave even without buying anything. Filipinos also anticipate giving hours to friends who will visit their hometown and treating them to best restaurants and delicacies for free. During festivals or fiestas, Filipinos serve heaps of festive food and invite their whole barangay over. They are also fond of giving pasalubong or tokens from their travelers and pabaon or farewell gifts to their visitors. Another trait is respect for elders. Filipinos greet their elders by kissing their hands while saying mano po and constantly using po and opo in conversations. Forgetting to address older people properly will regard them as rude and impolite. There is always wide array of reference to elder people such as ate or older sister, kuya for older brother, tito and tita for uncle and aunt, respectively, lola for grandfather and grandmother, and manong and aling for older people outside the family. Next, close family ties. Filipinos maintain a tight relationship with their families, regardless of the children are old enough and already have families of their own. They are also fond of family reunions during birthdays, holidays, or fiestas year round. Some Filipino families even opt to live in a big house where everyone can stay together. Nursing homes are almost always and not an option for family members and choose to take care of their elders themselves. Cheerful personality. Filipinos have a habit of smiling and laughing a lot. They smile when they are happy, or sometimes even when they are sad or angry. Smiling has been a coping strategy for many Filipinos, especially during trying times and calamities. For instance, Filipinos smile and wave at the camera while being interviewed even after a fire or a flooding incident. They always try to maintain a positive outlook in life, which makes them resilient and able to manage almost everything with a simple smile. Next, we have self sacrifice. The self sacrificing attitude of Filipinos can be seen as an extension of the Filipino hospitality. Filipinos go out of their way to extend help to their friends, families, and loved ones. They wish comfort and better lives for their loved ones and would even go to the extent working abroad hundreds of miles away to earn more money and save up for them. Overseas Filipino workers or OFWs sacrifice a lot. That is why they are regarded as the modern day Filipino heroes. There are also times when the eldest among the children of the family would give up school to work and provide for the rest of the family and educate his or her siblings. Next, we have Bayanihan. Bayanihan is the spirit of communal community and cooperation of Filipinos. It is also about giving without expecting something in return. Filipinos are always ready to share and help their friends and loved ones who are in need. It may not always be in monetary form, but the time and effort they give also count as a form of help for them. This trait is particularly manifested in how Filipinos rally themselves to send aid to those who were severely affected by natural calamities. The Bahalana attitude. Bahalana is the Filipino version of the famous like Hakuna Matata, meaning no worries. The phrase is said to have originated from Bahalana, where ba, it's originated from Bathalana, where Bathala means God, and the phrase meaning leaving everything in God's hands. It can also be viewed as something similar to the cheerful and positive attitude of Filipinos and allowing situations take care of themselves instead of worrying about them. Next, we have colonial mentality. Colonial mentality is regarded as the lack of patriotism and the attitude where Filipinos favor foreign products more than their own. This does not only concern goods, but also the desire to look more foreign than local and keep up with foreign beauty trends. It is attributed to the centuries of colonization Filipinos had experienced under Spanish, American, and Japanese rule. Manana habit. This is the Filipino term for procrastination. It was derived from a longer Filipino phrase called mamayana, meaning dawdling things which could have been done at an earlier time. It is a poor habit of laziness that results in heavier workloads. Next, Ningas Kugon. Ningas is a Filipino term for flame, and Kugon is a Filipino term for kogon grass that easily burns out after it is put into flames. Ningas Kugon refers to the attitude of eagerly starting things but quickly losing eagerness soon after experiencing difficulty, just like how fast the fire of a kogon grass burns out and moments after being ignited. Laziness is a common problem among Filipinos. That is why Filipinos are regarded as Juan Tamad or Lazy Juan. Pride. Most Filipinos hold on to their pride as if they are more precious than keeping a good relationship with family and loved ones. When two parties are not in good terms, they find it so hard to apologize and wait until the other party asks for an apology first. Crab mentality. This is a toxic trait among Filipinos where one resents the achievement of another. Instead of feeling happy for that person, just like crabs in the container, they pull each other down and ruin each other's reputation rather than bringing them up, resulting to no progress. Filipinos should change this troublesome attitude and focus more on their own inadequacies to improve oneself. Filipino time. Filipinos have this common attitude of arriving late at commitment, dinner, or parties, especially if they are meeting someone close to them. They tend to not observe punctuality to get altogether. The 7 p.m. call time becomes adjusted to 7:30 p.m. and almost everyone arrives at the same time because everyone is using Filipino time. Next, we have here Filipino markers. What then are the hallmarks of our being a Filipino? What makes us truly relish in our being a Filipino? So, the following are constant reminders of our nationality. First, the proverbs or salawikain. Filipino proverbs, just like any other proverbs, are sayings that convey lessons and reflections on Filipino practices, beliefs, and traditions. Damiana Eugenio, regarded as the mother of Philippine folklore, classified proverbs into six categories. Proverbs expressing a general attitude toward life and the laws that govern life. Ethical proverbs recommending certain virtues and condemning certain vices. Proverbs expressing a system of values. Proverbs expressing general truths and observations about life and human nature. Humorous proverbs and miscellaneous proverbs. So an example of a Filipino proverb is the saying, "Kung may tiyaga, may nilaga," which means hard work will be rewarded if one is persistent. Second Filipino marker is superstitions. Filipinos also subscribe to their own set of superstitions, passed down from generation to generation. Some of these may be influenced by beliefs from other cultures, but Filipinos have retold these superstitions according to their own experiences, and they sometimes end up even more interesting. According to Filipino superstition, when a woman singing while cooking will end up a spinster. So parents remind their daughters to avoid singing while preparing their meals. Another is Filipinos also avoid taking pictures in three, as the one in the center is said to die. Now, according to another superstition. Next, we have myths and legends. Due to the Philippines' rich culture and history, numerous myths and legends have sprung about things that are beyond one's imagination. These stories are aimed to explain the origin of things, at the same time, teach a valuable lesson. Some of these stories stemmed in the pre Christianity period but have evolved to the stories we know today. A famous Filipino legend is about the origin of the pineapple fruit. It is about a story of a young and lazy girl named Pina who always asked where her mother kept the things she needed without looking for them first. When Pina's mother got tired of being asked where she hid her things, her mother wished that eyes be planted on Pina's face so she would start using them. To her mother's surprise, the next morning, Pina was gone and a fruit sprung in the yard, implanted with eyes all around its body, which was later called piña, the Filipino term for pineapple. Next, we have heroes and icons. Heroes serve as reminder of true patriotism as they have lived their lives for the sake of their country's freedom and progress. Every year, we lend a whole day to celebrate our heroes, usually the last Monday of August, to remember their greatness, bravery, and resilience that has led to the freedom we know today. Famous Filipino icons such as Lea Salonga, Manny Pacquiao, and our very own national hero, Jose Rizal, also serve as important Filipino markers as they have made the Filipino name more pronounced through their own expertise. Now, how to be a good Filipino? Now that you know that your traits and values are important indicators of being a Filipino, the problem now is how to truly become one and how you can be useful to the development and progress of our country. So, we have here a following ways on how to be a good Filipino. Be an active Filipino citizen. A good Filipino citizen is aware of the current events and participates in government programs that aim for the country's progression and development. By simply exercising your right to vote, you always become an active citizen. When it comes to voting, the rich and the poor have equal voting rights. Every Filipino citizen of legal age have a chance in choosing the right leaders for the Philippines who are genuine in helping and caring for the Filipino people. Next, study the Philippine history. The road of the Philippine history is long and bloody, and by learning and fully understanding the events of the Philippine history, you will learn so much as to why it is important for you to love your country with your life. Extend help to your fellow Filipinos in need and recognize abuse of political power. Next, support local products. When you buy local products, you do not only support local manufacturers and businessmen, but you also help strengthen the local economy. How is this so? There will be more demand of local products. Thus, local businesses will be in need for more employees, which will open new job opportunities. The business owners will also invest within the country and are less likely to leave. Supporting our local products also displays our creativity, innovativeness, and resourcefulness. Next, speak the Filipino language. The history of the Filipino language was as long and hard as the Philippine history. Jose Rizal highlighted the importance of speaking a national language as a way of displaying the love of one's country. Speaking Filipino also served as a unique identifier of being a Filipino. It has been a decade-long debate whether to use Filipino as an instructional language in school and to translate textbook into Filipino. However, this is still not strictly imposed. Next, do not spread fake news and be democratic in engaging in with dissent. This period in the history of the Philippines has seen how the internet has spawned tons of possibilities for people, both good and bad. For instance, it is easier for Filipinos working abroad to communicate with their loved ones left in the Philippines through the internet. Despite this, the internet has also made the spread of fake news very common. Likewise, the internet has also made us engage in intense arguments with people across the globe about our political positions. For example, it is a part of being a good Filipino to understand and verify what you read online, especially in social media, before you actually before actually believing in it and spreading it like wildfire. It is also the responsibility of every Filipino to recognize disagreement in political views, be tolerant, and argue intelligently without having to resort into name calling people. Okay, so that's all for today, and thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed, and if you haven't liked this video. Thank you so much.